wage stagnation. How would you as president address that?
Well, one of the best ways to do it is to bring stabilization to the dollar. When a dollar represents a real dollar, that's a realistic way to gauge wage growth. But when it's fluctuating, and a dollar is worth $1 this week, and 80 cents next week, and 50 cents next week, and $1.25 the next week, there's no way that a person who is working for a wage can keep up. Part of the answer is still going back to the fair tax, but there's another issue I believe that's important. We don't need to let Democrats suck us into the discussion of the minimum wage, as if what the best thing we could do for working people is to get them to the minimum of something.
Right.
Because I've asked people when they say, I'm for the minimum wage. I say, are you really? That's the best you got? What is the minimum wage you want to propose? Oh, $10. Can you live off $10 an hour? And nobody says they can do it. So I say, well, if that isn't going to let you live, let's talk about a maximum wage. What would it take to get you to the wage you'd like to earn? So I say, what do you think would be a good wage for you? And if they say, well, I'd like to earn $30, $40 an hour. I say, all right, let's take a look at the jobs that pay $30 and $40 an hour. Nurse, truck driver, welder, some of those pay $60, $70 an hour.
Right.
HVAC technician, that's the kind of money they make. So rather than to say, let's let the government arbitrarily put you in a $10 an hour job that may mean you lose that job because your employer won't be able to pay for it, let's get you to the place where you're earning the $30, $40, $50 an hour.
Okay.
Get the training. That's what we need to be focused on.
How would you address monetary policy? What would you do to rein in the Fed?
Well, for one thing, most of what the Fed does is not necessarily helpful because it's creating an artificial economy that only helps the people who are invested in the stock market by holding down interest rates, which means that people who are living off savings are being decimated. A lot of elderly people, people who have the freedom and the liberty and the resources to invest in the stock market, they're doing great.
Right.
And I don't blame them. I'm not even thinking we ought to rob from what they've done or raise their taxes. They're just living under the best economy that they've been able to find.
Right.
But when you do quantitative easing, what you actually end up doing is creating a very artificial bubble that does not reflect the genuine impact of the economy and what it's doing to people who are working. And if you add that to the policies we put on trade and immigration, you pushed working people and wage earners right off the face of the map and into outsourcing, and now you have people who can't find decent and good jobs. At the same time, we can't even build America anymore.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Shane, glad you came.
Hey, good to be